The new era of strategic cooperation between Iran and Russia has formally begun, reshaping the political and security landscape of the region. The two countries, long constrained by sanctions and geopolitical pressure from the West, have decided to move beyond tactical coordination toward a binding alliance that could alter the dynamics of West Asia and beyond. This partnership, which was years in the making, was finally sealed when Russian President Vladimir Putin and Iran's President Masud Peshkan signed a strategic partnership treaty in January of this year. The agreement, now in effect, is not a short-term arrangement, but a 20-year pact, underscoring the depth of commitment both sides have pledged to each other. Under this treaty, Moscow and Tehran are committed to expanding cooperation, not only in bilateral trade and political coordination, but also across highly sensitive domains, such as defense collaboration, intelligence sharing, energy development, and joint strategies to resist international sanctions. The treaty also includes provisions for coordinating efforts to counter common threats and to strengthen stability and security in the region. Language that signals a shared strategic outlook in a region riven by conflict and external pressures. In a significant departure from the past, the partnership is being framed not as a reactionary measure to crises, but as the foundation of a long-term strategic vision. Analysts in both countries say this will transform what had previously been ad hoc cooperation into a structured alliance. The timing of this pact is crucial. Iran finds itself under sustained pressure from the West. Efforts to revive the 2015 nuclear agreement have all but collapsed, and the country is facing some of the most intense periods of confrontation with the United States and Israel in years. For Tehran, the need for a strong and reliable partner has become more urgent. Moscow, dealing with its own Western sanctions and geopolitical rivalries, has stepped into that role. The Iranian leadership views this treaty as a lifeline at a time when the geopolitical environment is increasingly hostile. The country's leaders believe that Russia's support can provide both political backing in international forums and practical assistance in areas such as arms development, trade under sanctions, and technology transfers. Russian leaders, too, see Iran as a valuable ally in West Asia. Facing growing tensions with NATO and Europe over a host of issues, Moscow is eager to strengthen ties with countries that share its interest in challenging Western dominance in global affairs. In announcing the treaty, President Masud Peshkan emphasized its long-term significance. He said, "This partnership with the Russian Federation is not merely a statement of intent. It is a roadmap for two nations that face common challenges, who now pledge to coordinate in defending their sovereignty and building a secure and stable region." For his part, President Vladimir Putin underscored the historic nature of the accord. He declared, "The Russian Federation and the Islamic Republic of Iran have entered a new phase of cooperation that reflects the realities of today's world. Our nations will work together to meet threats, to resist external pressure, and to promote peace and stability in our region." One of the most striking elements of the treaty is the depth of defense and intelligence cooperation envisioned. While neither leader has provided full details publicly, officials have confirmed that the two countries will share intelligence on regional security threats and coordinate efforts to protect critical infrastructure, as well as to combat what they describe as external destabilizing forces. The treaty also reinforces ongoing collaboration in the energy sector. Both countries have been hit hard by Western sanctions and see mutual advantage in supporting each other's energy industries. Joint projects in oil and gas exploration, as well as in energy transport infrastructure, are expected to move forward in the coming months. Russia has been particularly vocal in criticizing Western policies toward Iran. In a sharp statement, a Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson condemned European sanctions, calling them illegal and counterproductive. The spokesperson warned, "These measures will not resolve the nuclear issue. Instead, they risk deepening the crisis and undermining the prospects for a diplomatic solution." This statement reflects Moscow's position that punitive Western measures have only hardened Tehran's stance and made it more reliant on alliances with countries outside the Western sphere. In contrast, the United States has been reinforcing its own network of partnerships in the Persian Gulf. During a high-profile meeting at the White House, former US President Donald Trump reportedly spoke with the Prime Minister of Qatar, assuring him of American security guarantees. The meeting also included discussions with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who, according to reports, expressed regret over an earlier attack targeting Hamas officials. Qatar occupies a central role in Washington's regional strategy. The small but wealthy Gulf state hosts the Al Udeid Air Base, which serves as the forward headquarters of the US Central Command, a crucial hub for American military operations across the Middle East. The juxtaposition of these developments highlights the broader contest for influence in West Asia. On one side stand Russia and Iran, seeking to push back against Western sanctions and military pressure while building a regional bloc of resistance. On the other side are the United States and its allies, working to reinforce existing security arrangements and deepen their partnerships with key regional players like Qatar and Israel. In this broader geopolitical context, the region once again becomes a focal point where the interests of superpowers collide, as one analyst put it. For decades, West Asia has served as the stage for proxy rivalries, ideological clashes, and strategic competition. Today, as Russia and Iran formalize their alliance and the United States doubles down on its partnerships, that competition is intensifying. Experts warn that this shift could have significant implications for the nuclear issue, with talks to revive the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, stalled. Iran's cooperation with Russia may embolden it to resist Western demands and continue advancing its nuclear program. Conversely, Washington's strengthening of security ties with Gulf allies could further harden Tehran's resolve. Regional stability, already fragile, may be tested in new ways. Countries in the region, from Turkey to the Gulf states, will be watching closely to see how this new alignment affects the balance of power and the prospects for conflict or peace. As the new treaty comes into force, its practical impact will unfold over time. Much will depend on how far Moscow and Tehran go in implementing its provisions. For now, it serves as both a symbolic and a strategic marker, a declaration that these two nations, facing mounting external pressure, are determined to stand together. Observers note that the alliance could alter the dynamics not only in West Asia but also in global diplomacy. Both Russia and Iran hold significant positions in international energy markets, and their closer cooperation may have ripple effects on global supply chains and prices. Moreover, their shared interest in developing alternatives to Western-dominated financial and trade systems could accelerate efforts to create new mechanisms for cross-border commerce that bypass traditional Western institutions. For Iran, the treaty is a statement of defiance as well as of hope, a sign that it is not isolated and that it has found a partner willing to invest in a shared vision. For Russia, it is a practical step to expand its influence in a strategically vital region at a time when its relations with the West remain deeply strained. As one senior Iranian official put it privately, this partnership is not about convenience. It is about survival and about shaping a future in which we are no longer dictated to by others. In the coming months and years, the world will watch to see whether this partnership delivers on its promises and how it reshapes the calculations of other actors in the region. For now, what is clear is that the geopolitical map of West Asia is once again being redrawn. The entry into force of the Iran-Russia Strategic Partnership Treaty marks a decisive moment, one that reflects not only the shifting alliances of the present, but also the enduring contest for influence in one of the world's most volatile regions.